Morning, guys. We're on Revelation chapter 21, reading from verse 19, and we're looking at the foundation stones of the temple. And we know from verse 14 that these foundation stones had the names of the 12 apostles on them. The 12 apostles representing the 12 disciples in the New Testament, the New Covenant. But also they have a significance to the Old Covenant, the 12 tribes of Israel. And God has used His plan throughout the whole of the Scripture, climaxing in Christ who fulfills and represents all these to some degree or another. I did a bit of research into these 12 stones, but it is quite confusing because the stones have kind of changed from time. And those 12, the high priest had 12 precious stones on his breastplate, but only 8 of those are actually found here in Revelation. But let's just read the verse 19. The foundation stones of the city wall were adorned with every kind of precious stone. And so these are beautiful stones. They're the most precious things that we can know here on this world, and probably more glorious in heaven. The first foundation stone was jasper, and we'll just quickly read these and then we'll go through them very briefly. The second was sapphire, the third was chalcedony, the fourth emerald. Then going over to verse 20, the fifth sardonyx, the sixth sardius, the seventh chrysolite, the eighth beryl, and the ninth topaz, the 10th chrysoprase, the 11th jacinth, the 12th amethyst. And so again, 12 being a common number here, and as I said, 8 of those 12 represent certain tribes. So for instance, the jasper, the first one, which is the one that's the most common one in the sense that it's so beautiful, so clear, so bright, shining, really representing Christ's glory, happens to be Benjamin, which is of the tribe of the southern of the south, is the very first one. Sapphire represents the tribe of Issachar. It's interesting in Exodus 24 verse 9, when Moses, it says in verse 10, and they saw the God of Israel, and under his feet there appeared to be a pavement of sapphire. And so we get these precious stones throughout Scripture. As I say, the stones, it's difficult to follow them because you kind of Google one and it leads you this way and that way, and they kind of represent all different things, and their names have changed. But somehow, and in some different ways, and I'm sure with a bit of time one could dig into more information, it represents the glory of God. And so here, God standing on this pavement of sapphire in Exodus. The third one represents, which is the chalcedony or agate, represents the tribe of Naphtali, and that came from the place called Chalcedon, so that's where they got the name Chalcedony. The emerald, the fourth one, represents the tribe of Levi, that's the priestly tribe, and some people say a symbol of new life. And we can go on. Onyx or sardonyx is the fifth one, sardius or cornelian. And even with some of these, some would say the beryl, which is the 8th one, represents Joseph, but Joseph appears in other ones. So there seems to be a little bit of confusion. But what is clear is that these are all precious stones. And what is fascinating is that these are all anisotropic stones, which means when you use polarized light through them, they come into the brilliant colors. And I'm not sure if that has anything to do with heaven at all, or if that's just I don't think it's a coincidence. There's no coincidences with God. But whereas isotropic stones, when you shine cross-polarized light through it, it's just black. But these will shine with all brilliance. So God has chosen these stones for a reason, and with time and with a lot of study, and even when we get to heaven one day, I think they'll take on a newer meaning and a greater meaning. But for us now, it's just to marvel at what God has got prepared for us, the glory that is to come, and the beauty. It also just represents the beauty of heaven. You have the contrast of the absolute blackness and agony of hell, and here with the absolute beauty of heaven that we can look forward to if we're in Jesus. So important for our eyes to be fixed on these things, and fixed on heaven and the things to come. Just have a wonderful day. God bless.